Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, another week, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking a couple articles about Helldivers 2. We're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6, or I should say the publisher wants to bring more games to Netflix after the GTA trilogy. And we're also going to talk about No Man's Sky's tease for a new update. Those are what we're doing on today's show. Obviously, we're going to talk about lots of different things, but those are the three main topics we're going to talk about today. Appreciate it very much for you coming out. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So let's see. What's going on, Mr. Luke? What's going on with the people? Ghost, Eclipse, Roadkill, Slusher, Dustin. Who else? Krebsy. Good morning, Water. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Dave Rose. Good morning. Since Microsoft is Pacific time, I think it's the earliest we get the news is in about an hour or a half or after. Yeah, if Xbox makes some announcements and things start happening, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll just continue with our normally scheduled program. Kylo Green says, I bought a backbone for my phone last night. It was pretty cool mirroring the Xbox on my phone. One of the best $50 I've spent in a while. $50? Is it on sale? Usually it's like $100. Usually it's $99. Dave Rose says, I can't play a game on my tiny phone screen. I'm gaming. I want to play on a big LG OLED TV. Water says, Helldivers. More like hell, yeah. Bad. Bad, Water. That's bad. Yeah, the Deadpool 3 trailer looks good. I said last night, I'm going to the theaters to see it. It'll be the first Marvel film that I go back into theaters for. The last one I saw was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which came out in, was that 2021 or was that 2022? Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness release May of 2022. So it'll be 2 years. 2 years. That's the last time I went to the theater to see a Marvel film. Local game store hookup. Oh, got a guy. You know a guy. Y'all have to know a guy. Every time I look for a backbone, I'm looking at it. I'm like, $100. I was like, I'll wait till it goes on sale. Come on, Mr. Luke. I haven't watched anything Marvel since episode 2 of Miss Marvel. Yeah, that's the last time I watched something live, Krebsy. Right? We stopped watching that, and I said I have to watch Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness because... Wait, actually, did I watch that in theaters? I watched Spider-Man in theaters. Yeah, and I watched Doctor Strange. And after that, I said, I'm done. I'm done. That's the last thing I saw in the theaters, and Miss Marvel episode 2 is the last thing I watched on television. That's when I just stopped. I stopped making content on Nerding with 30. I literally stopped. I think the last thing I created, like live, like watching the show and talking about the shows, because we used to do live shows after each episode each week. We used to have call-ins. We used to have conversations and discussions about the stuff, and I was just like, I'm done. I was like, I can't do it. Can't do it. Roadkill says, I haven't been in the theater in probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. Oh, see, I love going to theater. We're starting to go back. A couple movies I want to go see in theaters. A couple movies coming in theaters. I didn't see Guardians Volume 3 in theaters. I didn't. We waited for that to come out on... I was going to go to the theaters to see it, but I didn't. I waited till it came out on Disney+. Monkey Man looks good, but it all looks like John Wick now, doesn't it, though, Water? Let's be honest. John Wick. Right? Monkey Man looks like John Wick. I missed the Wicked trailer because I had to go I missed like a couple of commercial breaks. I go walk the dog, so I missed it. I went to the theaters a few weeks ago to see Godzilla -1. I wanted to go see that. I wanted to go see that a couple months ago when it came out. I'm going to have to wait till it comes out now. I haven't seen anything Marvel at home or in theaters since Miss Marvel. Krebsy's just boycotting everything. Krebsy, what do you do? Right? Because I know you don't play a lot of games anymore. I know you're not watching a lot of shows anymore. So what do you do in that? What's opened up in your life? Because if you're not playing a lot of those games and you're not watching a lot of those shows, like what did you fill into that time? Like, did you learn a third language? Did you learn a second language? Did you learn how to like knit? Are you like a proficient in something else now? Kylo says, I honestly thought it was John Wick. Yeah, my dad thought it was John Wick as well. I said, no, it's not John Wick. He says, that guy's still going? I said, no, that's not John Wick. I said, it's Monkey Man. The last thing I went in the pictures was a horror film. Smile. That was good. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. Don't even know what that is. Did you guys, anybody, I know a lot of people watch the Super Bowl, but not a lot of people don't even bother with the Super Bowl. I thought it was a great game last night. I thought it was a great game. Obviously, I don't have a team I didn't have a team, so I didn't care who wins or loses. But the most exciting thing about the game yesterday was my mom's part of the little box bowl where you pay $10, get your name in a box, and she got 0-0. So the first quarter last night, she didn't understand what was going on, and she shows me the sheet. I'm like, oh, you have 0-0, meaning you have to have San Francisco have a 0 and KC have a 0. So if they get 0, 10, 20, whatever, it has to end the quarter with 0-0. With like 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, they were like driving down the field, and I thought for sure they were going to score, but they didn't. So it ended, and she won $200. And then we missed it by 20 seconds. Was it in the second half? Or no, not the second half. The second quarter, where they went up, and I was like, oh my god! I was like 20 seconds more, she would have won another $200, but they kick a field goal because it was 10-0. It was 10-0, so it was another 0, and it would have been 0, but KC kicked the field goal and got 10-3. I prefer watching sports like that when you have nothing on the line. I was just excited for her. I was excited for whoever. Did squares at my job. Didn't hit anything. Oh, yeah. It was funny. It was a good time. It was a good game. It was a really good game. I haven't watched, sort of like Krebsy hasn't watched any kind of Marvel show. I don't really watch football anymore. I used to be a huge sports fan. Baseball, football, hockey, basketball. I used to watch it all. And then when my son was born, I stopped watching. Oh, did you guys notice? Sarge told you guys he bought me a goalpost. Here it is. The goalpost. So, we have a goalpost when you move it. But, yeah, I used to be a huge football fan. And now, I don't watch anything. I've watched maybe 10 games in the last, like, 5 seasons. So going into the Super Bowl, I was like, I'll watch for the commercials, but the game was really good. The game turned out to be really good. Rose says I didn't watch the game because after my Lions lost, I didn't care. Yeah, I didn't have a team in the game, but I thought it was entertaining. I even thought Usher's performance in the halftime was good. I play Monster Hunter World, GTA, Fortnite. Watch gaming shows like you, Lono, Asmongold. Recently started to dive into port YouTube videos because I want to see people lose it all. Kylo says, refrain from shifting that thing now. That's right. I've shifted over to primary soccer or Premier. Or primary soccer. There's also a boy plays that's all hard to spread much more focus your interest now. Got it. No, it's funny. I saw a thing where like 103 million people watched the Super Bowl, right, last night, like on TV or whatever, the internet, and someone put a thing where people that watch soccer is 4 billion. And I looked at that and I went, that's exactly what the video game industry is going for, right? Like people are excited. Now, obviously, 103 million is fantastic, right? But that 4 billion, that's soccer. That's what Microsoft's trying to go for, right? Like they're leaving behind the 103 million people that could potentially like buy their stuff and their potential of like the 4 billion people. I thought it was interesting. I was like, wow, 4 billion people. 4 billion people watch the World Cup. Yeah, the real football, Paul. That's right. We have a really good team here in Orlando. We have Orlando City Soccer. They're a real good team. And then obviously Messi is down in Miami now. Rebsy says Super Bowl halftime show 30-40 loved it. 20-30s tolerated it. 20 you get hated it. Yeah. It was totally towards late 30s, mid 40s. When Lil Wayne was up there and Alicia Keys, I was like, oh, they're hitting. It's like the car commercials. Car commercials are not meant for the young people. They're meant for the older people. This year, United States is getting the World Cup. That's awesome. Are we? No. We haven't got the World Cup since, was it 93? (2026) is the FIFA World Cup. And that is it in the United States? It'll be jointly hosted by 16 cities, 3 North American countries, Canada, Mexico, and United States. The tournament will be also first hosted by 3 nations. World Cup since 1994. Oh, it was 94. I thought it was 93. What places are they doing it in? Because they did it in Georgia back in 94. That's why they built the stadium and everything over there. That's cool. I didn't know it was coming to the North America. Did I say Little Wayne? I'm sorry, Krebsy. I meant Little John. It's kind of BS over 3 countries. It is what it is. I think that's actually better, Paul, because most countries get it, and then they build all the stuff and the infrastructure, and then they tear down the stadiums. They don't even get torn down. They just get built, and they're just stuck there. So at least if they're going to countries, hopefully they're not building brand new stadiums, and they use the stadiums they already have in the country. Like, we have so many stadiums in the United States. We don't need to build brand new stadiums to bring in soccer games. You know what I mean? Where are they playing, though? It doesn't say. It just says total number of games played will increase from 64 to 104, and the number of games played and teams reaching Final Four will increase from 7 to 8. The tournament will last 39 days, increase from 32. Each team will also still play 3 group matches. The final match, up-level players named to the final squares. I wonder if we're getting a couple games here. Oh, I see it. I see it. So Los Angeles, San Francisco Bay Area, Seattle, Vancouver, Guadalajara, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, New Mexico. I'm sorry, Mexico City, Atlanta, Boston, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Toronto. I wonder where the main game is going to take place, though. Hey, here's all the places they're going to be at. Mexico's got 87,000. That's the biggest stadium. It'll probably be there, I would think, right? MetLife Stadium's got 82,000. What's happening to the music? The music sounds like it's dying. Test, 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 test. Can you guys hear me now? That is so strange. That might be like a driver issue. Like it literally just the music. I can't get the music back for some reason, but the music started slowing down. You know, like a horror flick. Are you back again? I have no idea what's happening right now. It's making no sense whatsoever. Temperature on computer's fine. I have no idea what's happening. I feel like something's happening with like the driver or something. Let me see something real fast. If I bring up a YouTube video. Okay. Works. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Are you saying shit YouTube doesn't like? No, we were just talking about the World Cup and stuff. We were talking about football, and then we were talking about soccer because this World Cup was coming in 2026, and it's happening in North America. And then all of a sudden, just my music. What I was trying to say was it was weird because the music all of a sudden started slowing down, like it was like a horror flick. It was like, and then all of a sudden it just died. And then all of a sudden I lost all audio. No, I wasn't using NVIDIA Broadcast, but now I am. I was just using the regular like software that comes with the computer, Paul. But now I switched to NVIDIA, and now it seems like it's working. Hopefully this lasts, and then we'll be fine. All right. Let's start off. We'll start off with the first story. Yeah, what we were saying before we went silence is that the Super Bowl was a good game. It was a good game. And then we'll talk about the World Cup and whatnot. I was excited for the not high scoring defenses both showed up. It was really good. It was really good. Yeah, it's just weird, Paul. It's never happened before. All of a sudden, it was just. It might be the driver of the original, like the internal driver, and now I switched over to the NVIDIA one. So I'll have to take a look at it once we're done. Hopefully, this stays, and we'll be fine. So no music, I guess, which is fine. No big deal. All right, let's talk about No Man's Sky. Right, everyone's talking about. Always, all these games that come out, and they're always like, it'll have the No Man's Sky effect. The No Man's Sky effect, right? Right now, Suicide Squads, people are like, maybe it'll have a No Man's Sky comeback down the road because it's a live service game. But meanwhile, No Man's Sky is still being No Man's Sky, right? I kind of hate that the No Man's Sky, we use it a lot because that's what people know, but I hate that No Man's Sky. It's like, oh, maybe they'll do a No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky is an outlier, right? Not many other games become what No Man's Sky has become 7 years after it came out, still supporting it. No, not one DLC has been charged in the 7 years that this game's come out. They've made so much. They made so much money from this when it first launched that they didn't have to charge anything ever again. Okay. Magic, I'm going to read it. Thank you very much for the Super Chat $4.99. Tried to gift Quintar a chat, but the app sucks. Well, I appreciate the $5 super chat. I don't know if it's going to read it because I think my audio's broke, but it is what it is. Actually, let me see. And actively. Can I make that go again? Channel? No. I can't make it go again. Nope. Nope. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Oh, Quintar, thanks for becoming a member. Became a member himself yet again. Quintar, thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that. No Man's Sky equals best ongoing game. No, not true, Sarge. That title goes to Cyberpunk. That goes to Cyberpunk, which is just silly.
Keep
Okay.
the change, you filthy
Oh, here
animal.
it comes.
Try to give Quintara a chat, but the app sucks.
There you go. I don't know why that comes in so delayed, but there it goes. So, No Man's Sky teases new update. Okay, the creator of No Man's Sky teases the release of the game's new content update with another mysterious post. Okay, so fans of No Man's Sky have previously been told they expect particular big year ahead of the game, and creator Sean Murray has already begun teasing the release of the title's first content drop in 2024 with another mysterious post on social media. While the game has enjoyed dozens of free major updates since the controversial release in 2016, No Man's Sky saw yet another big year in 2023 with the Inceptor update and also a full set of new expeditions for players to embark on. Now, No Man's Sky's plethora of significant and completely free updates have involved the game far beyond the original vision of many ways, and has cemented itself as one of the most significant redemption stories in gaming history. Even after 7 years of consistent support, the game's developers of Hello Games are showing no signs of stopping the flow of addition of No Man's Sky. Now, some fans were worried that the announcement of Light No Fire, Hello Games' next major project, meant that work on No Man's Sky was coming to an end, but developer Sean Murray has assured the community that No Man's Sky will continue to receive new content over the coming years. Now, this is crazy, right? Because if you look at other games that come out, and let's look at 2 games that just came out recently that are live service games. Technically 3 games, right? Because Foam Stars, I believe, is a live service game. You got Helldivers 2, that's a live service game. And you have Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which is a live service game. Now, they're all kind of different, right? Suicide Squad's is free content coming out. I'm not sure if Helldivers has free content. You guys let me know in the comment section down below or in the live chat right now. I'm not sure if Helldivers is doing DLC and free content. I'm not really too sure. I haven't done my research with what they're doing in the upcoming. I think I heard them saying that they're going to keep adding content for free, but I didn't know if there was also going to be DLC for them down the road. Where Suicide Squad's doing no DLC where you pay for it, and it's all free content, at least for the first year, if not a year and a half, right? So they both have battle passes. They both have stuff like that. But No Man's Sky has been a game for 7 years that has come out with the original. 2 years was exclusive on PlayStation and PC. Then it came to Xbox. So it's been on Xbox for 5 years. It's been on Game Pass, I think, for 4 of the 5, if not all 5. And there's so much to do in No Man's Sky. And you look at this and say, how does a company that has 25 employees, how can they support a game like No Man's Sky for 7 years, where companies that have hundreds of developers behind them and they struggle, right? They struggle. Where Destiny puts out content and they're like, well, it's going to be delayed, it's going to be this. But yet No Man's Sky, 25 employees, I believe it's 25 employees. I think they've expanded from the original 12 or 14 that they had when they launched 7 years ago. And now, not only are they still working on No Man's Sky, they've released multiple games since then, and now they're releasing another big-end open-world type of game with Light No Fire. So how does a company do this, but yet other companies struggle? Now, obviously, Suicide Squad's not struggling as far as the content goes. We haven't seen any content from them yet. The game's just been out for 2 weeks. Helldivers just came out a week ago, not even a week ago. It just came out this past Friday, and it's seeing a lot of success. So we'll see what they do as far as keeping content going. Now, you look at games like Fallout 76, who's constantly kept content coming. You look at games like Sea of Thieves, has constantly kept content coming. And they also kind of struggle. But Hello Games, I don't understand how they can do this, right? I don't understand how they can constantly give out more content for this game and yet charge $0, no microtransactions. It's a phenom of what's happening in the industry from everything else. Now, with Murray himself claiming in 2024 that one of the biggest years of No Man's Sky so far, it seems like the game's first update of the year is already close in hand. A recent tweet from Sean Murray's personal Twitter account has begun stirring up the hype within the community, and with the mysterious posts consisting of just a singular character, an Omega symbol. Veteran No Man's Sky fans will know that the Murray typically shares similar cryptic posts to tease a theme upcoming updates, and such posts almost always suggest that the release of the new update is imminent. Okay. Now, the release of No Man's Sky's next major update is a very near future, seems more likely than considering that the game's internal branch has updated just days ago, suggesting that the new version of the game is in the works and also soon will be pushed out to the public. Anytime he does post like this, within a week's time, it usually comes out. So while not confirmed, rumors circulating are the game's community point towards the next update, including the expedition for No Man's Sky as well. Now, in addition to revealing No Fire, Hello Games' presentation of the Game Awards back in December also included a short video celebrating the 7 years of No Man's Sky, complete with a tease of the content and expected the game throughout the year ahead. While it's not just certain what features of the game's next update might bring, but fans have also gotten a look at the new space station design, which is expected to be implemented into the games at some point this year. So again, all these companies that come out with stuff, right? Like Battlefield 2042, Cyberpunk 2077, they all have this redemption arc, right? Can they have their No Man's Sky moment? Which I think is funny because No Man's Sky is still doing the No Man's Sky moment. They constantly keep giving out free content for 7 years. But yet, what is the word I'm looking for? What the industry is telling us is that these companies can't make games and they need to keep making money, right? They need to keep making with microtransactions and battle passes and with the skins and whatever not, right? Where No Man's Sky has done none of this. None of this. They made so much money up front, and then every time they come out with an expansion for No Man's Sky, people go out, buy it on sale, $30, $40, and it keeps continuing. And they keep making more content for this game, and yet you see games like Helldivers that need a battle pass. You see games like Suicide Squad where they need a battle pass and they have a store and a shopping, right? And any other game that comes out, Foam Stars, where they have a shop as well. So it's very, as a consumer, it's hard for me to believe. And again, I know different studios do different things, but it's very hard for me to believe that they have to charge for these battle passes. They have to charge for these live service games with microtransactions. The stores are going when they're like, yeah, well, they have to recoup their money. But yet No Man's Sky has been alive for 7 years. And I get it. 25 employees. But yet this game just keeps ticking. Just keeps ticking. And they also made another game while this is still going. They made another game that's going to be coming out soon. And everyone always tells you, well, live service games are going to make or break it when it comes out. And it lasts years after year. Marvel's Avengers failed. Anthem failed. Division failed, and then it kind of rebuilt itself with Division 2, and Division 2 kind of did good, and then all of a sudden it kind of went back down, and then it came back up again because they decided to support it again. But you let me know in the comment section down below, how is it that No Man's Sky, a live service multiplayer game, cannot charge one extra iota of a cent for 7 years and still continue to, studios not closing down, microtransactions are not all over the place, right? It's literally make a game, sell a game, and just keep selling that game because they keep adding content to it. How do they do it? But yet all these other studios, they have to put a microtransaction store in here with battle passes and $40 skins. It makes absolutely no sense how this works for them and it doesn't work for the rest of the industry. Let me know in the comment section down below. These are just my thoughts. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. What do you think? No Man's Sky's next big expansion just keeps making this game, it almost feels like an MMO, the way they keep putting stuff into this game. Let me know if you're playing No Man's Sky every time they come out with an update. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like what we do here, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. So chat, what do you guys think about this, right? I'm looking at this, and every time No Man's Sky comes out with something, I'm shocked. I'm like, Murray, stop giving us free stuff. Like you could charge for DLC now. You've gone above and beyond what I think they owed what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't believe they owe this much stuff to the community. 7 years of doing this, like we want you to make money, and I get it. They gonna just make another game, right? They had the other one, the campfire one. I forget what that one was called, right? That became a small little game. And now they're coming out with Light No Fire. It's insane the amount of content that this keeps coming out. Paul says the paid battle pass, everything is free in Helldivers. All microtransactions could be obtained by playing too. Yeah, but they still have a battle pass, right? They still have a battle pass. That's not saying they don't have a battle pass. And they also said that they are going to have more content coming in for free. Now, I don't know if they're having it as paid as well. Everything is not free in Helldivers. You can also earn X amount of paid currency. People need to stop saying everything is free. Yeah, I know everything's not free. I know stuff is paid for. Quintar, every time you gift me, I'm like, damn it. It was too slow. Jason Marshall also says the new content will be free. Is it all? Because I heard a couple of different things, Jason. I heard that some content was going to be free, and then other content down the road as they add it was going to be paid DLC. Am I misinformed by that? How much of the currency can you earn? I have 250 of the super credits from playing. I did watch Azacross review of it, and he says you can purchase stuff for the deluxe edition or the bonus edition, whatever it is, the bundle. But if you wanted to grind it, you're definitely grinding. He says it's a hell of a grind to get the same stuff that you get if you just pay $10. Water says, we all know No Man's Sky is the true best ongoing game. Robert Jones says Helldivers 1 had free content and DLC. IRL and DLC was just weapon packs. You can only earn the set amount in a season. It does funnel a player to spend money at some point. I'm not saying the system is awful in Helldivers, but I would not really call it a free like No Man's Sky. Go on, House. Sarge says it's called actual budget. Go on, Argus. Good morning. Proper DLC is less BS among the team. I don't also forget how to still small studio. Sure, a small studio, but there's also other small studios, and at the same time, they still have to pay. Like, there's a scale there, okay? Where if you look at Suicide Squads, they had a budget, right? They had a budget. They made the game with that budget, and they made the DLC with that budget, right? Again, the developers get paid, and if they made a good game, imagine this, right? And I'm saying I like Suicide Squads, but I'm saying just in general, if you make a good game, people play your game. And if people play your game, they spend money on your game. And if they spend money on your game, you make money, and then you can put that money back into the game to create more content. Right? You see games like No Man's Sky 7 years later, they've completely still made... They're here. They're not going away anytime soon. They're not shutting down store. Meanwhile, right now, people are freaking out because they're like, is Suicide Squad going to be here in a year? You know what I mean? Krebsy says, I argue that Hello Games are idiots for not having microtransactions. You know, people would buy skins and ships in a heartbeat. But does that make... See, I don't think that makes them idiots. I think they've make the money, and I think they're actually really good, right? Unlike Destiny, I think Hello Games knows how to manage their money. These large dev teams are not managed properly. That's exactly right, House. And I've been saying that, beating that drum for years. Upper management in a lot of these companies are not managed correctly. I really don't know how do it like servers cost money and to keep up with whatever. Hopefully, Suicide Squad knows how to do it. Yeah, I'm very concerned with games. I'm not concerned with Suicide Squads because they might close shop. I think they're going to be here regardless for a year and a half, 2 years, regardless if people are playing that game or not. They already have the budget. They already have the content made, and all they have to do is keep releasing it, right? So they're just waiting for their investment. Now, their investment might be recurring or recruiting. Instead of the 2 months in the very beginning, it might take 8 to 10 months now to recoup what they thought they were going to get. But we'll see. I really don't know how. I already read that. Jason says, so far I have only heard the content will be free. Okay. We the People says, as a former engineer dev and now security engineer, I cannot fathom how No Man's Sky stays afloat without the external funding base on something big coming, and they also make that money back. I think what they did was, and again, this is speculation. We read an article about 7-8 months ago that No Man's Sky, when it came out, there was so much hype around it. And because it was such a small team, and they got the money from PlayStation for that exclusive time frame, that they made enough money that because the amount of people they had, they made an absorbent amount of money. So let's just say they sold, I don't know, 7 million to 10 million copies. 7 million to 10 million copies for No Man's Sky is phenomenal compared to 6 to 7 million copies for a big budget AAA game where basically they just break even. You see what I'm saying? Like, their budget for No Man's Sky wasn't the absorbent amount of like a Last of Us, a Spider-Man, a Starfield, or anything like that. So I think that's how they're making it. Okay, like Suicide Squad, what we saw in the court documents with Game Pass was going to offer them $250 million day and date. I'm assuming that game cost about $300 million, right? $250 to $300 million. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Where No Man's Sky probably didn't cost them $200 million to make. Right, and people are still buying No Man's Sky. The currency is fairly priced. I wouldn't feel bad giving them the money. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing, Jason. I mean, obviously, people are gonna if you like a game, you're gonna give them money, right? If you played a free to play game and then bought a season pass, if you played a free to play game, you bought a microtransaction, if you bought the game for $40 and then also give it up to, instead of pricing it at $60, you give it at $40 and then charge $10. You know what I mean? Hey, if you like a game, support the game. But just don't think that because you support a game, you're keeping the devs in business, right? They already made their money. The devs made their money beforehand. Now it's keep them going to make something else, the studio alive to make something else in the future. Paul Gaming says No Man's Sky didn't have to pay back its investors because they give the game to PlayStation for a few years. Yeah, it was 2 years. Dolphin says, not to mention Rocksteady has made hand over fist money with the first Batman game, so they have more wiggle room. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that, Dolphin. It's good that you actually say that. And actually, there's more people playing Batman right now, right? So obviously they didn't pay full price, but Batman sold a crap ton, right? The series was very popular, and Rocksteady, obviously, it's been 9 years since their last game, right? How did they float this long? You know what I mean? They probably All right. All right, you guys, can you hear me? I think it's going to happen again. Oh, Jesus, that's terrible. Hold on one second. All right. Is that better? All right, that should fix it. Jesus. So I think what's happening, good news. Good news is it's the cable. Okay. Yeah, this is actually I'm in the toilet the entire time. Yeah, this is what it is. It's the cable coming from All right. I have to make adjustments. As I was saying, the cable that my mixer's getting plugged into is shot. So I had to buy a new cable for that. So a couple things are not going to work right now. So I have to plug the mixer board directly into my computer now. So that should fix the problem. It's the cable coming from. So I was going from my mixer to a hub, and from that hub to the computer. So Jesus, so I got to sit down. Because the standing desk, the cable won't reach. So we're sitting down today. Jesus Christ. Always rolling with punches. All right, I think we're good now. What was I saying? Where was I? We were talking about No Man's Sky. Oh shit! I can't do this because now I don't have. All right, well, I have no board. My Steam Deck doesn't work right now because I had unplugged this whole thing. Awesome. Awesome. Is it this one? No, that's not it. That's starting soon. Intermission. There we go. All right. All right, we're good. Always rolling with the punches. All right, so we're talking about No Man's Sky. We're talking about how the companies that size, how can a game, 25 employees, continue to make that game, continue supporting that game, and then also working on yet another huge end game. Did they sell their souls to the devil? Like, are like wizards that this is the only company that can do this? Yet you look at other companies that come out and they make games like Anthem and Marvel's Avengers with small teams keeping them going, and they can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible? I appreciate you guys hanging out as we're experiencing these typical difficulties. We should be good now, so I gotta go buy a new hub. Yeah, I'm just blown away about stuff like that. How No Man's Sky can still continue to make it. Budget and no financial overlords. Yeah, and I think a lot of people want to look at what that is. And then, again, you look at a game, all of them. All of them. Battlefield, Cyberpunk, Skull and Bones is coming out. That's a live service game, right? That's going to have problems. It's already having problems. A lot of people are having fun with it, but they have problems, right? Because their budgets are so high, right? You look at Suicide Squads, they're having issues. Oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? I can hear something happen with my we good? We're still good? Oh man. Not shit dev practices. Right. And I feel like where we are in the industry, right? Where we are in the industry, I feel like somebody's lying to us. Right? I'm sure everyone's lying to us. Okay? I'm sure lots of people are lying to us because they can. Okay? But for a company like No Man, I would love to find out the inner workings of how No Man's Sky can make multiple games over 7 years, right? Because they've made. Let me look at the games they've made, right? Smaller games, of course. Hello Games. Okay, so they have No Man's Sky, The Last Campfire they came out with, right? Before that, they had Joe Danger. That's all they had, right? Joe Danger. They had Joe Danger. Then they did The Last Campfire and No Man's Sky. While No Man's Sky was out there, they launched The Last Campfire. And now since No Man's Sky has still been out, obviously it's the funding for everything. Now they're making Light No Fire. The company literally has what, 25 employees? 26 employees. Number of employees from 2020. How's that possible? How do they make it, but nobody else can do it? Their expense need to be equal to close to the equal to what they're making. If they're losing $50,000 a month, they would 100% introduce microtransactions. But if they lose $2,000 a month, they would just eat costs. I think, and again, this is just my thoughts, Krebsy. I think they made so much money. Okay, they made so much money from the initial launch. Okay, and we don't know those numbers, right? We don't know the total sales numbers. Let me see. No Man's Sky total game sales. No Man's Sky has sold 10 million plus units since launch as per official product description. The GameStop listing a Nintendo Switch version, I found this info. Link has also always wondered how many units No Man's Sky has sold. They don't know the official, but they know it's sold over 10 million units. Okay. When it first came out, I know it sold like 6 million. Had to. With the amount of people that were playing it was like 6 million, 8 million copies sold. That game, for the rest of their lives, they don't have to pay for anything. They made enough money with that game to make as many games as they wanted after the fact. Let's see. No Man's Skies. Total budget? Do we know? Cost to develop No Man's Sky, 500,000 revenue from the game, 100 million this time last year. How much did it cost to develop No Man's Sky? I don't know if that's an official. If it cost them 500,000 to make No Man's Sky, it took them 6 years, 7 years to make that game. 500,000? That's insane. That's insane if it cost them 500,000. Let's see. Indie studio generated indie game makers acquired from outside sources like crowdfunding platform or other funding. If it cost them less than $1 million to make No Man's Sky, those guys are freaking wizards, dude. I'm trying to look it up to see the development costs. No Man's Sky represented Hello Games' vision board, attention-getting game they wanted to pursue. Murray wanted to recreate the feeling of space exploration. The first teaser was in 2013. Expo 2014, launched in 2016. All right, sales. Okay. So within a day of the game's launch, Hello Games reported more than 10 million distinct species and were registered by players, extending its estimated to 8.7 million species identified to date on Earth. On the first day of Windows release, No Man's Sky saw more than 212,000 concurrent players on Steam, exceeded the largest number of concurrent players for the most other games, including 2016's release of XCOM, Dark Souls 3. No Man's Sky in the United Kingdom during the first week was also the second largest PlayStation 4 launch title published by Sony, following Uncharted 4, and with the fifth highest across all publishers and Sony formats. Now, a lot of people don't remember this, right? I love how people are saying. So, some people are saying that Helldivers is a first-party title, but it's funded by PlayStation, obviously, just like No Man's Sky was funded by PlayStation. And back in 2016, PlayStation had No Man's Sky come on PC and PlayStation at the exact same time. So this is not PlayStation's first time publishing on both PC and console at the exact same time. Now, obviously, it was just exclusive, but they still put money into it. If it wasn't for PlayStation, No Man's Sky wouldn't have been out the way it did. They invested money into Sean Murray and Hello Games. Okay. Is Hello Games public or private? They're independent, private, little studio. Most of the games they're making enough money and they're profitable, but it isn't enough to return on investment. For what? Most of these games. Are you talking about No Man's Sky, Jones? Complete guess here, but a tiny in comparison dev team, efficient devs, code base. It doesn't suck ass. They're very happy employees. Oh, absolutely. They not only. I would assume like Hello Games, and again, I'm assuming. I would assume that each of the employees that started with Hello Games, they got a nice chunk of change. It's like being the massage therapist at Google when Google started, and then they got successful, and they're all pretty well off now. I would assume. I'm assuming the people at Hello Games they can breathe easier knowing that they don't have to like kind of. You know what I mean? Like they have the freedom to do what they want. They're not being beholden by some corporate suit staring over them going, well, what do you got for us now? What do you got? You going to put that out? They just kind of do what they want and they just like kind of release it. Sort of like what Epic Games does now because of Battle Royale, because of Fortnite. Okay? Because of Fortnite's Battle Royale, they just do what they want now. They're financially succeeded their goals where they're not pressured by. but they don't have a bunch of extra license agreements and cost twice as much in developing the game. I don't think the accountants are special. It's simply that they just decided to do with their profits, right? So if they're private, then they don't need to answer to a stockholders like most other prominent studios with such a reach at Hello Games. But no, here's another example, right? Here's another example. It's not a live service game, but look at Baldur's Gate 3. Look at Larian Studios. They don't answer anybody. They're privately owned, right? They made a game, sold a game, right? Now, obviously, when No Man's Sky came out, they made a game, but they didn't make a game. It was a broke, buggy, unfinished game. But since that point, they constantly have added to it and made it to a game where now, 7 years later, you look back at it and say, holy Christ, this is a really good value of a game. Right? But look at some of the companies that are smaller that are making it, that are doing it. Larian Studios, they put their blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of money into that game. Right? It as easily as it became a hit, it could have not been a hit. Right? Baldur's Gate was a niche community originally. And Baldur's Gate 3 is like basically what happened to Elden Ring from FromSoft. Right? Baldur's Gate was popular within the people that liked the game, but it wasn't a massive success before. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking it away from them. But Baldur's Gate 3 launched them to the next stratosphere. Right? Now people that never played Baldur's Gate series are like, man, this is a fantastic game. I take extra shit around of Merit bonus season. So I could imagine if they were given creative freedom within the reason and they have no fear of massive layoffs, would generate a bit more polished work from me. Right, when you don't feel like you're going to be threatened to lose your job. But I'll tell you what, when they launched, I bet you they weren't in a very good mood. They stayed quiet for 2 years. Sean Murray and Hello Games, they were under immense pressure to release that game when they were with PlayStation. Okay, they were told to release that game when it was unfinished. They suffered through that, and they came out the other end fantastic, right? Only because they stayed quiet for 2 years, and then they put a good product out. They added good product to the product that was already out there. Yeah, I wish. I would love that. I would love to sit down and be like, what happened? Tell us what happened. Why did you release No Man's Sky the way you did? And then how did you get to this point? Now, here's the thing. In a time machine, right? And again, this is all speculation, right? Like we're all just thinking about this. What about if No Man's Sky came out and it was just it was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't broke like it was. And they just release it and it is what it is. Do we have a world where all their updates were free? Was this always the plan? Or was it the plan that became the plan because of what happened to No Man's Sky? You know what I mean? Like, because it was in a bad shape, they started making the free content and adding to it. Was that always the plan? Or was the plan just release the game and that's it, and then we'll move on to the next game? I think it had to become the plan to save the studio. Yeah. I would love to know. Like, what was their vision? Like, we're going to make this game. It's going to have 18 quintillion planets. This is what it is. Make a game, sell a game. They put it out. No issues. I'd say no issues. It was just a good time for what the game was, and then that was it. I wonder what kind of world we'd be in now if we would have these articles saying it's a No Man's Sky redemption arc. They probably had investors that had to deliver by a certain date. They're likely free to investors after delivering the product. Yeah, that those investors were PlayStation, Jones. PlayStation paid for them and PlayStation forced them to release it. I think they had to become a plan, but after the studio, that difference between Helldivers and No Man's Sky is that Helldivers is published by Sony. Hello Games was self-published. Was it? I thought for 2 years it was published by Sony. I'm pretty sure. You might be right. Let me see. Publishers Hello Games. I could have sworn at one point. When it came out, it was published by Sony. Yeah, okay. The game was developed over 3 years by a small team of Hello Games with promotional and publishing help from Sony Interactive Entertainment. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was publishing help with Sony Interactive Entertainment. The gaming media saw the ambitious project for a small team, and Maria and Hello Games drew significant attention leading to the release. They helped them publish it, and then after that 2-year thing, they could take their name off of it because then it was everywhere. It wasn't published by them. But they helped publish it when it first came out. 100%. Let's see here. People are busting a nut over Helldivers 2. I don't get it. I watched it. I think it looks pretty interesting. We're going to talk about it. We have a couple of articles about it. I mean, the marketing was probably paid by Sony. So, yeah, it would be considered publishing, right? No, it literally says, off the wiki site, it says Hello Games with promotional and publishing help or help from Sony Interactive Entertainment. 100% they paid for the publishing. No Man's Sky released because they probably ran out of money. Didn't take them long to get them the initial view of what they originally announced to be. I mean, it took them 2 years. Now, again, it says here that it took them 3 years to make. Okay, now everyone said it was like 6 years to make, but it was 3 years ahead of time. Then they relaunched it, and I always say 3 to 5 years when a game, how long it takes to make. They launched it at 3. It took 5 to fix. Because it took them an additional 2 years to make No Man's Sky what it is. And then they started adding to it. Technically, it's been out for 7, right? And it needed 5. It came out at 3, and then it had 7. If it came out at 5 years development time, then it would be out for 5 years, and it would be in a better state. All right, let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing, which is GTA 6 publisher wants to bring more games to Netflix after GTA Trilogy. Okay. So, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick expressed interest in bringing more GTA games to Netflix following the success of GTA Trilogy on the platform. In the fall of 2023, rumors swirled that Netflix was in talks to bring Grand Theft Auto title to Netflix game service. Eventually, Netflix revealed that GTA Trilogy would be coming to the platform, and once it arrived, fans were surprised at just how well the title ran on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, after the GTA Trilogy impressive performance on Netflix games, Take-Two Interactive CEO expressed interest in bringing even more GTA games to their service. Now, GTA 6 published optimistic about the GTA on Netflix games. As reported by the Business Insider, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick revealed during the earnings call that GTA Trilogy dominated the Netflix games in downloads following a GTA 6 trailer reveal. During the earnings call, Zelnick claimed that GTA 6 trailer had a halo effect across the entire franchise. Naturally, this bolstered the interest in the franchise across multiple different platforms, including Netflix games. Okay, GTA 6 first trailer took the internet by storm and amassed 174 million views in 2 months. Zelnick went to call GTA's partnership with Netflix a resounding success following the trilogy performance in December, and expressed interest in launching even more GTA titles on the service. Now, quote, "We love to do more with Netflix. Who wouldn't?" Zelnick asked. He also says, quote, "As long as the consumers are happy to be there, as long as the economics of it arrangement make good sense." Now, considering that Netflix game service centers around mobile gaming, it's unclear that the other titles could make it their way in the future. Now, many suspect that Take-Two will also bring old GTA titles to the service. That may not also be the case, with reports that the game's Resident Evil Village running well on those certain tablets. Let's see. And it also wouldn't be surprised to hear that GTA 4 or 5 comes to Netflix games eventually. Now, here's the thing. Now, we kind of dabbled. We put our toe in this, talking about, right, just as a conversation, okay? We said, what if Netflix, right, they have 200 million people that have accounts, which is a lot more than what PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox have for clienteles that could potentially play a game. I'm not saying all 200 million people are playing the game on Netflix, because I'll be honest, let's take a poll. How many of you have actually played a Netflix game on your iPhone? I have not. I have never touched a Netflix game at all, a version of it on my phone from Netflix. I have yet to play a Netflix game. But how many people out there have? Apparently, it went from 1% engagement to 3% engagement just because of Grand Theft Auto. So it literally doubled or tripled what people were playing just because of Grand Theft Auto. Okay. So would it be interesting to see Netflix paying for, I gotta move my iPad. Would it be interesting to see an exclusive? Now, I'm not saying they're going to get Grand Theft Auto 6 in any way, shape, or form, but we've seen some crazy things, right? We've seen some crazy things. Grand Theft Auto 6 is this beast juggernaut that's out there. It's going to be the biggest thing in gaming. And obviously, as Take-Two and Rockstar, you don't want to take that away from anybody. You want to put that as many platforms as possible. Many platforms as possible. But you also got to remember, Rockstar has never released a Grand Theft Auto game simultaneously from PC and also from console. They always come to PC at a later date. Okay, they even did the first-person view, a year, 12 months, 16 months afterwards, something like that. So it would be very, very interesting if Rockstar all of a sudden was like, yeah, you want to pay for exclusives? Timed exclusive? Could you imagine it coming to Netflix for like 1 month early? Now, a lot of people would look at that and say they wouldn't buy it. They wouldn't get it. But could you imagine if Netflix was like, all of a sudden, we're going to get a Grand Theft Auto 6? Quintar, thank you much for the 10 gifted memberships. I can't do the clap thing because my board is down, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. The amount of people who would boycott Netflix when GTA 6 was exclusive. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Krebsy, sure, they would boycott it, right? But if they had a time exclusive, let's say 1 month, how many people do you think would play it ahead of time because they want to play the game and they wouldn't wait that time months because it's such the biggest game in the world? They would want to play it ahead of time. You know, again, I'm not saying it's happening.
Becoming a member.
I'm not saying it's happening in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm saying is that would be insane if Netflix paid for a timed exclusive for like 1 month just to get that. Just to get that engagement, because 1 month later they're going to be selling it, and then everyone would buy it when it comes to console or if it came to PC or whatnot. Go on, Hemi. Altern, Tori, Jesse Mack, M. Barnes, Salty Raymond, Ordon, Big T, Al Dente, and Wolverine all got gifted memberships from Quintar. Quintar, thank you very much for the continued support, man. Appreciate that.
Thanks for becoming a member.
Yeah, it was popping, Sarge, because I had to move my mixer board closer, get the cable to my computer, and my iPad was making it.
Thanks for becoming a member.
Making it pop like that. That's why I moved my iPad. Yeah, especially if it's going to have an online, people would play it just to play the single player. Just so when it gets on the console, so they can just play it online. Right. Remember, the online didn't come until after the fact, right? Netflix would have a big boom at launch, but 3 months after, people would revolt, and I believe hurt Netflix if it would run. People also would get Netflix, but spit on Netflix on the way out. Sure. But subscription models, right? Subscription models have to do certain things to get people in, right? Again, it's not an exclusive game. Like, I'm not saying that GTA 6 is coming to Netflix and only Netflix. What I'm saying is maybe a time exclusive, play first type of thing. I mean, the article says right here, right? The article says right here. Where is it? He says right here, we'd love to see more with Netflix. Who wouldn't? As long as the consumers are happy to be there, and as long as the economics of those arrangements make good sense. Right? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say that they want it to be just on Netflix. But Zelnick's like, yeah, it makes sense. If people want it there, and people are playing it there, and we put it there, and they're giving us enough money, it makes sense for us, then why not? Obviously, there's a lot that has to go into that, right? They would have to think long and hard. Is that going to hurt Grand Theft Auto? Probably not. People want to play it. They need to bring Netflix gamings to all devices. Isn't Netflix gaming on all devices? Oh, you're saying all devices like the television and stuff like that. I don't know if they would have to. Because isn't it on? I could have sworn we read an article that you could play your Netflix games on your television set with any controller. Right? You just need a Bluetooth controller. Take-Two could play, could be paying Netflix for marketing. Have the old games on Netflix, a marketing tactic, methinks. Absolutely, Jones. One for sure, they'll put up a Grand Theft Auto, all the other Grand Theft Autos or Red Dead Redemptions on there for sure. Why wouldn't they? Right? Maybe Bully, right? Maybe even their other games on Netflix, even their older GTA games, like the top-down versions. GTA would be fine. Netflix would hurt. I think people would actually boycott Netflix. I think a lot of people would, for sure, Krebsy. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But at the same time, the amount of people... Right now, Grand Theft Auto just surpassed 195 million units sold. Right? They're going to break 200 million within the next, 5 months, for sure. Okay? So they'll break over 200 million copies sold within the next 5 months. There's a lot of people that say they would boycott it, but there's also the same people that... Because video games are an addiction for a lot of people. And people buy 3-day early access and 5-day early access. They pay the extra $30 or $50 just to play that game early. I'm pretty sure they would pay the $10 or whatever thing is for Netflix just so they can play ahead of time. A lot of people say they're going to do a lot of different things, but then they actually don't do it. The metrics for the public looks like they're going to do it. But a lot of people don't follow through when they want to boycott something. Hold on a second. Sorry, hit the wrong button. I think buying games is an addiction too. You think buying games is an addiction too? I think playing a game for sure. Right? Oh, your backlog is insane. But what I'm saying is if you see all it would take is a Lyric or an Asmongold or someone that's high up there on Twitch or YouTube to all of a sudden get sponsored by Netflix to play Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 6 on Netflix, okay? And then all of a sudden, okay, everybody was like, oh, damn, that looks good. Can only play it on Netflix right now. Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that would be huge if they did it. Netflix should be investing in Grand Theft Auto TV series, then buy a Grand Theft Auto 6 time exclusive. Ooh. They could make a TV show of Grand Theft Auto, right? Based on the video game. I would like to see Netflix numbers during the GTA boom and how they maintain those numbers. Well, if Netflix wants to compete in this... realm, if they happen to start going the realm of competing with Apple and Microsoft, Amazon in that new cloud gaming, mobile gaming market, who knows? It'd be interesting to see, because if they can get that, and all of a sudden, let's say sales are good, subscribers numbers go way up, then all of a sudden, imagine this, Krebsy. Game Pass is trying to get to 100 million subscribers. Okay. All of a sudden, Netflix, they have 200 million subscribers because of movies, right? And everybody that has Netflix right now has access to the video game, I believe. Okay. For right now, until they raise the price or whatever. But everyone has Netflix games right now at a certain tier. Do you imagine that all of a sudden Netflix, who's not in the video game market, as like Microsoft, all of a sudden surpasses, and they have 100 million people out of the 200 million people trying out the gaming and playing Grand Theft Auto? That would be amazing. Not just for Netflix, but like what it does for the paradigm of the industry. Netflix boycott would do shit. Netflix is bigger than gamers. Yeah, I agree. OTR, and I'm kind of addicted to buying games. I mean, collecting games. I'm addicted to buying games. I mean, collecting. You're a collector, Quintar. That's right. GTA 6 is a game directly appealing to gamers. Netflix, as an instance, wouldn't be a bigger than gamers. The way I look at it is it isn't until it is. A good marketing campaign, watching a couple of streamers play that, I don't know, man. What they could do is just like a trial or something. I think that would also work just as good. I meant to say boycott wouldn't do shit. Wouldn't do shit. I thought that's what you were saying. Maybe I read it wrong. Netflix boycott would do shit. Wouldn't do shit. You said would, but I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, Jones. I have 180 games in my backlog. Oh my god. Like independent games or like AA, AAA games or everything? Like you just have a whole bunch of stuff. That's a lot of games, gaming. You should change your gamer tag to backlog for life. Yeah. Your YouTube name should be backlog for life. Netflix needs to figure out streaming game launch first. There's too many loops in playing Netflix game. I don't have Netflix. Bit all to playing AAA games anymore. For life? That's crazy. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Netflix, right? It's always interesting to me because I always like looking at stuff. When Microsoft said that they're not competing with PlayStation anymore, they're competing with Apple, Amazon, Google, and I don't even think Netflix was in that category because I don't think they thought about that. And then all of a sudden now Netflix is it. I mean, they bought a couple of gaming studios, right? They have like 3 or 4 gaming studios underneath Netflix's belt. They sign a deal with Rockstar to get the games onto Netflix. Yeah, it's just the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, but that gave them a huge bump. Who's to say they don't try to do some other crazy thing? Again, they don't have to get into the massive market, but they can force their way in for bits and pieces of it. All right, what time is it? Because 12:30 or 11:30. Let me move on to the next one. My parents are still in town. I'm gonna hang out with them before they leave today. So let's talk about Helldivers 2. Talk about Helldivers 2. All right. So Helldivers 2. Game looks fun, right? I'm getting a lot of different vibes from it. The other day, someone said it reminded them of Battlefront, and I said, yeah, it actually does remind me of like Battlefront. But it also reminds me of like SOCOM, the way the guys move, right? I'm not saying it's SOCOM. I'm saying just the way the characters move. It's kind of reminds me of that old school. I kind of like the way it looks. Like I wanted to play it this week, but I don't think I am because I watched some people play it solo, and it looked horrible when playing solo. Okay, then I watched people playing it with randos, and that also looked like not fun because a lot of people were just murdering people left and right just for fun. I want to be more strategic. I like Like, obviously, we play with friends and we get killed. That's fine, right? Good fun. But if you're just getting trolled by other people that are playing the game, that's not fun in my opinion. But Helldivers 2 does look fun to me. Okay, so we might wait till next week. Akuta Papa said that he might be busy this week, and we have a podcast. We have a podcast coming up on Wednesday with Ginger Prime, and then we're doing this Thursday GXGs with the Kingard instead of Sarge. He won't be joining me. So let's talk about Helldivers, right? Helldivers reinforces the way Sony releases PlayStation games. Right? This article is from Paul Tassi from Forbes. It says, update. Because I'm very smart with good memory, I have learned that Herman Holtz essentially said everything I said before back in 2022, that Sony will release most live service games instantly on PC, while single-player games will be held back at least a year. Original article follows Helldivers 2 is the latest surprise hit in the gaming space since, Palworld a couple weeks ago. But it's deeply impressive all the same. The PlayStation publisher co-op shooter has done exceedingly well on Steam, releasing the same time as PlayStation 5 version, something that Sony has almost never done before, which is kind of wrong because they have done it before. No Man's Sky released, and No Man's Sky actually did really well. This is the article that we read before. Okay, so Sony is indeed a venture further into the PC over time, bringing their big games to the platform well after launch. But even with the minor franchise like Helldivers, the day-and-date launch has allowed its 155,000 concurrent peak to be more than double of God of War's 73,000 peak. Can I just say, duh? I'm not saying duh to the article. I'm saying duh. We've been saying this for years, right? Right? See, it's bad when Microsoft releases their games on their console and PC, right? People are like, oh, they can't sell their games, but they're making more money. Hence why Starfield was successful. It sold 6.5 million copies on Steam alone. And then here you have Sony, okay, selling on PlayStation and PC at the exact same time. No shit, you sold more copies because it's at the exact same time, and the people that are on PC that don't have a PlayStation are now buying your game. And if they didn't have a PlayStation, they would have to wait for Helldivers for a year from now before they buy it. And by that time, they might be buying something else, and they might be like OTR, where they just put it on their backlog, okay? So obviously, if you put on the PC platform and the console platform, you're going to sell more. That's how it works. Get it out to more people on day and date, and more people will buy your stuff. So it says, and I bet it would go even higher today if it wasn't a Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, it still might. Okay, this was clearly an experiment. Now, Sony has been toying with more and more closely PC releases for a long time now, or a while now, and this was a game that they thought could do a fully pulled the trigger on. And guess what? It worked. And now this is going to be a reshape on how Sony reveals games going forward. There should be a split from here. Okay, big traditional PlayStation exclusive single-player games will continue to release only on PlayStation 5 at launch. And I think that's dumb. Because a person like myself that doesn't have a PlayStation 5, I'm not buying your next God of War. I'm not buying your next Horizon game. I'm not buying your Ghost of Tsushima, right? I'm not buying these games until they come over to PC now. Now, obviously, those games like God of War Ragnarok, which I haven't played yet, I haven't bought it. Why? Because it's not on PC. And when it comes to PC, or when it is to PC, I'm already playing other things that are interesting my time because it's old. But if God of War came out on PC and I don't own a PlayStation, I would have bought that game. If Horizon Forbidden West came out on PC the same day as PlayStation, I would have bought it. They would have made more money from me. But instead, now I have to wait, and I'm not going to pick that up. Same thing goes, right? Helldivers right now is out the same time. I was going to pick it up. I just don't have the time this week to play it because of family or, arrangements and stuff like that. But I'm going to probably pick it up. It's a good price point, $40. Seems like a fun game. We'll get 20, 30, 40 hours out of it, right? But obviously, they should release their day-and-date single-player games. I would have bought Spider-Man day one, but I can't. I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I have to wait now when it comes out a year from now. So obviously, they would sell more. But let's continue. The gap is going to shrink, though. God of War has about 3.5 years difference, but the surprise if it didn't get down to 1 or 2 years. Now, however, I cannot see Sony releasing any of the planned live service games exclusively on PlayStation, given what they're seeing on the Helldivers here. We already know that this is not going to be true for something like Bungie's Marathon, which despite Sony's ownership, all Bungie games are promised to remain on multi-platform. Okay, but he says, I also believe that it's end up by applying anything that live service multiplayer title now. You also need a player count, first of all. You reach a critical mass of sustainability at the level you want to see for these games, and I argue, and also a live service. And you're also worried about less about selling box copies as you are getting players into the ecosystem with the Battle Pass, cosmetic purchases, and long-term fishing game. Now, I like how he's talking about this for Helldivers, but yet Suicide Squad is doing the exact same thing, right? You have to get a player base. It's across multi-platforms, and it's also trying to get battle passes and cosmetics, and you have to get that player base. Now, not doing very much, right? Now, the difference is, let's just say that there's, a million people playing that game and a million people playing this game. This game looks bad because it's a AAA game. This is a small little studio that's doing very well. Okay. It says, I also think this will also happen even more closely linked to IPs to PlayStation, like the upcoming Horizon Zero Dawn live multiplayer game, and it also had The Last of Us Factions had not been canceled. It would have been a wise release on Steam day and date as well. He says, seems likely that Sony is never going to pull the trigger fully on Microsoft-style day and date on PC for all exclusive philosophy, or everything on PlayStation Plus on day one. They've also said they won't, and the budget of these games probably wouldn't support that. But Sony has been nervous about the reach been limited by the PlayStation boxes alone. And I believe that it'll also start relying on more heavily PC in ways that I'll also be seeing from Helldivers 2, where they will also be a bit more flexible in the traditional games as well. See, look, I think Sony will go day and date with their first-party titles. Now, am I saying the next God of War is coming out and that's what's going to make it? No, but I do think that they would go day and date on PC. It'll be more likely to go day and date on their PC with the first-party title games than going on PlayStation Plus. Now, I've always agreed with PlayStation Plus's method of the single-player game not going to PlayStation Plus day and date, coming out like 6, 8, 10 months afterwards because you're paying $10 or you pay for the full-price game. Obviously, if you want to make more money, you put it out there with the $70 first and then charge afterwards when your masses want to play that game day and date. But the PC makes 100% sense. To not put God of War or Spider-Man 3 or Days Gone 2 or Ghost of Tsushima 2, whatever they have planned in the future, to not put it on PC, to me is a dumb move because a lot of people that own a PC don't want to own an Xbox. They don't want to own a PlayStation. They don't want to own any consoles. They just want to play their games on PC, and they'll just wait it out. So you might as well make a return on investment sooner rather than later, because if you come out later, they're probably just going to be having a backlog of games that they're going to be trying, and your game is just irrelevant at that point. And a lot of people won't pick it up. And those sales show since, they don't do very well once they come to PC because obviously those people are not interested anymore. And if they are, they'll just get it on sale at a later date. Okay. It says, update, because I'm very smart with good memory. He already put this, so we don't have to read that again. I don't know why he had put that at the top and the bottom. But Helldivers 2, I think, is going to obviously shape the market, change the market on what live service games are doing for PlayStation. Makes sense because you want to make more money, and you're not going to make more money because you only have 50 or 60 million copies of your console out there. And obviously 60 million people that own your console are not all going to go out and buy this game. They're all not going to go out and buy God of War. So you have a good percentage, 10%, 12%, maybe 15% of the market that has your console right now. Out of 100 million, if they get to the 100 million mark within this year, which I think they will, you're only going to get 10% of those people buying the first-party title games. So you might as well tap into the market that's not on your console to get that percentage even higher. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about Helldivers 2? Are you playing it? Are you liking it? Do you think this is a good stepping stone for PlayStation moving forward with these live service games? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. I got another Helldivers one. I got another Helldivers one here. But we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm waiting to buy Helldivers 2. Number 1 was so much fun. The guy thinks Discovered America predicting the obvious. The guy thinks he's discovered America predicting the obvious. Helldivers needs to make Mandalorian or Bad Batch games. That would be fun. That would be fun. I think contracts are already being signed to have Sony acquire Arrowhead. Perhaps because they've done this in the past. It would be smart for Sony to pick them up. I'm not going to invest into the game that has a bad single player experience. Just don't have the time for it. And I hear you, House. That's why I said I'm not going to pick it up right now. I would rather have a couple of people that we can play with and have a better experience. I watched someone play it solo, and I watched someone play it with a bunch of randos, and it doesn't look fun to me. It doesn't look fun to me. Obviously, it's very different if you get in with a group of people that are playing the game. Like, for instance, I played Starship Troopers. When you get in with a group that's really fun to play with, it's a blast. But if you get in a group of people that don't know how to play, this happened even back in Destiny, right? You're doing strikes, and the people don't know how to do the certain strikes or where to go or what to do, and you're like, "This how do you not know? The game has been out for like years." So obviously, Helldivers looks really fun. I actually like it because I was asking people. I asked Lono the other day. I was like, "Is it like Conquest? Like you're going around the universe?" He's like, "Yeah, you're doing that with everybody in the game. There's like certain segments you have to take over, and you're taking over the galaxy." That seems fun to me. The builds that you make seem fun to me. The gunplay, the strategicness of it seems fun to me. I'm okay with people killing me, right? By accident. But watching people randos killing each other and the person getting frustrated because of it, that to me is like a waste of time. Right? That's a waste of time. Akutapapa says, that's how the business works. Helldivers 2 is proof of concept, and it's unlikely that its acquisition is possible. Krebsy says, Sony will do whatever it makes them most money. Currently, keeping up with God of War only on PlayStation systems is more financially beneficial. How is keeping them financially only on PlayStation more financial for them? They would, for instance, instead of selling, let's say it sold 8 million. I don't know what it is. I'm just putting a number out there. Let's say it sold 8 million day and date, like on the first day. And then the PC people buy it down the road 1 million people later. They would make 9 million sales on day and date, maybe even more, because those people would be able to play the game that they don't own a PlayStation. They're still making the money. That's not what I mean by God of War. When I was saying God of War, I mean single-player games such as Spider-Man, God of War, Uncharted. You can make your studios work on something, but you also put out contracts, use the studio. You also experience in the type of game you want. And he says, yeah, I watched them too. Not as fun as Suicide Squad. If number 2 is, if anything, like number 1, it's solo-friendly. If number 2 is anything like number 1, it is solo-friendly. It's not what I've seen. I watched a lot of content this weekend on Helldivers 2. I wanted to go in solo, so I was watching a lot of people playing solo. It didn't look very good solo. But again, I'm looking third party outside. I never played the first one. So how many people played the first one? Helldivers 2. No, that's Helldivers 2. I want Helldivers 1. Helldivers 1 total sales. Let's see. Helldivers broke 100K. No, that's they all have. I want to know. Helldivers 1. Helldivers. Let's see. Multiplayer, plot, receptions, equal references. They don't talk about it. Helldivers 2 surpasses. Helldivers 2 surpasses. Yeah, lots of articles on Helldivers 2. Why is that ticking like that? No electronics near my cable. Do you think Friendly Fire will last? I think they might scrap it for randos. Reavers are also going to have a field day otherwise. That's what I've seen a lot of happening right now, House. As it gets more popular, more people are griefing. On PC, Helldivers 2 was the worst, most unsafe, anti-cheat, and that's why I was waiting. I was hoping to remove it and replace it with easy anti-cheat. Eclipse says, isn't it's really not solo friendly. Maybe on the lowest difficulty, but once you get the higher shit, it's so hard. Yeah, so someone said you could play it solo on the easier difficulty, but you need to play at the higher difficulties to unlock the certain things for your upgrade your ships, and you can't do that on the lower difficulties. So if you're like super casual and want to play a couple games on easy mode, sure, but you're not going to get anything from it. Tiny Toot says, first rule of Helldivers Club, don't talk about Helldivers Club. I can only talk about number 1, but a higher difficulty, it's literally a skill issue. And you might be 100% right, Jones. I don't know. I'm just looking at it from outside. I went to multiple people playing solo and getting their thoughts on the solo compared to playing with a bunch of randos. Some people were having a blast with certain randos, and then other people were having a miserable time. Right? Remember when Sea of Thieves first came out and people would join you, but they wouldn't do anything? So you're trying to you're trying to sail the big galleon, but 2 of your members don't want to do shit, and you would put them in the prison or whatever. You would vote. People were griefing them into the jail, right? That's basically what's happening right now in Helldivers. A lot of people are just going around taking air support or the pods and dropping them on the just for fun. And I get it. They're having fun. They're playing the game that they want to play and whatnot. But I've seen horror and I've seen really fun. And I haven't really seen a good balance yet. Tattoo says, yeah, I bought Helldivers 2, and I kind of wish I didn't because I'm pretty much a solo player. Not to say Helldivers is a bad game, it's just not my jam for solo play. And that's the thing I'm hearing a lot about, dude. Yeah. Playing as a squad is awesome. Exactly, Water. And that's why I literally asked Akuda, I was like, are you playing this week? I was like, what's your schedule like? He's like, I'm kind of busy. I don't know. Maybe we could play. But I don't want to buy the game if I have an experience where I'm going in with a bunch of randos and they don't know what they're doing, right? Or they're just trolling. You know? You can solo later on, though, pretty easily. Solo later on in the higher difficulties? That's completely opposite of what I've seen and heard. You start off as a trash soldier and make you into a super soldier. Yeah, but when you're a super soldier, you have to go up to higher difficulties. And they say it's super hard to play solo in the higher difficulties. No, I get that, Jones. I get that. And calling in random people, then it's a roll of the dice if you're going to get people that come in that are actually good or not. All right, let's continue on with Helldivers, right? Because I know a lot of people are talking about it's a pay to win or whatnot, and I don't know any of that. So we're going to read an article here that I haven't read yet. I heard Jaffe talk about it. I heard a bunch of people talking about how it's not pay to win, it's PvE. So let's read the article and see what's happening. So Helldivers 2 creative director argues games should earn the right to be monetized. Says its only pay to win item is a revolver that you get gold in a cool gun competition. Okay. Says Helldivers 2 has been suffering from successive whirlwind launches. Now the PlayStation's biggest PC success led to swarm server issue bugs, and not a kind that you can shoot dead with a beam rifle. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of server issues. Okay, but at least they're being community, unlike other games. Okay, regardless of ambush, developer Arrowhead seems to be taking things with stride, and PC gamers own the Fraser Brown notes. It's already in better shape. But what we've seen and heard, Arrowhead owns its win to Helldivers 2 being a great bit of co-op shooter fun. Also, according to the game's director of Arrowhead, CEO Jonathan, he aims to avoid the live service pitfalls we've come to all loathe. He says, quote, "We really apply ourselves to what makes a pay-to-win, even though items are functionally different. The only items that are pay-to-win is the revolver, which will win you any cool gun competition." Okay, that in response to a video from a player who notes that the game that you get super credits, a premium currency you can also use to buy Steely Veteran Warbound Battle Pass by playing the game. Players can also snag up by picking up them in the missions and progressing them through free war bonds, spending cash around $10 worth. We'll get you access to it faster, though. Okay. So, Jonathan also later responded to another player writing, quote, "You can earn the right to monetize. I truly believe that. If you people want to support the title, then they have the option. But if we are never forcing anyone to do so. You could also make an argument that pay-to-win games rarely ever force anybody to do much of anything, instead incentivizing them through long or tedious grinds, but also the area of fully priced games with also the wallet melting cosmetics." He says, also, I think a handful of side grenade weapons you can also get for free and is reasonable amount of time and pretty harmless. Not to mention there's also no FOMO here. That's according to the developer blog of Helldivers 2 post last month. He says, quote, "This is important to us. The war bonds are not a pay-to-win, FOMO-driven system. Instead, the Gears of War bonds just keeps accumulating. There's also be retired earlier war bonds as new ones are released. You can also pick them up and complete them at any time," says Helldivers 2. A dispute game director, Sagar, as it stands. It seems like the Jonathan's team has also put super credits where the slobbering aliens maw is. So there you go. So you can earn everything in it, and people are saying, is it pay to win in PvE? So I know Jaffe was talking about that he was playing solo. I didn't watch him. I just read what he said on Twitter. He said he was playing solo, and that you could pay for certain gear, but the certain gear would have like bonuses on, on certain stats, but then diminish on other stats. So he's like, is that pay to win? He was asking a question, and people were coming in saying stuff to him, like saying you're an idiot or whatnot. And he was just asking a question, is it pay to win? And then people come in and said, well, you can't have pay to win in a PvE type of game. And I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree that you can't have a pay-to-win mentality in a PvE game. Now, if there's PvP and I get a weapon that's more powerful than your weapon and I pay $10 for it, 100%. But if it's PvE and you don't have the time to play, I get that as well. So if something takes, let's say, an hour to beat and you only have 10 minutes a day to play, it's going to take you 6 play sessions to get to that 1 hour to get enough stuff to get that one item that someone gets in one sitting. But that's just what it is. That's life, right? Nothing's fair when it comes to it. So if someone pays $10 and that $10 gets them that weapon or that skin or that armor piece, and then for you to get the exact same piece, let's say is 5 hours, that's $2 an hour, right? So do you have 5 hours to put in the game? And if you're liking and enjoying the game, then you wouldn't have to pay the $10. You're enjoying the game, playing the game, and then you earn the stuff in the game. I think that's fair. But if you're also a person that's like, looks at somebody else and is like, man, that's a really cool gun, that's a really cool skin, where'd you get it? And you're like, oh, I paid $10. You're like, oh, that's it, this game's broke. It's like, is it? Like, I get it. If Sea of Thieves, you can go to the islands and get gold and bring it back and then get the cosmetics that you want, or you could buy the Plunder Pass and then purchase stuff from the Emporium store, because that's just what it is. Now, that's a PvP game and a PvE game, but all the cosmetics is cosmetic. In this game, there's stats and stuff to it, and you can earn the stuff to get, or you can just pay for it and not grind for it. Personally, you guys know how I am. I would rather pay, instead of paying $10, I would rather pay for the game, earn the stuff in the game, and then get it. If it takes me 10 hours, if it gets me 15 hours, it is what it is, but I feel better once I earn it instead of just paying for it. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think Helldivers 2 is pay to win? I don't believe it is, but let me know in the comment section down below. How would they balance this in a game like this, where obviously we had a conversation, if you watched the live stream, we talked about No Man's Sky charges nothing for their DLC or anything like that. You can earn cosmetics and stuff inside game. You can earn ships and a whole bunch of stuff by just playing the game. So what's the harm if this company decides to charge for $10 for a couple of different things? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Watch them. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Nope, I love the fact that friendly fire is on all the time. Makes it more strategic. Strategic. Don't waste your time with Suicide Squad. It's the worst game I've played in years. I absolutely love Suicide Squad gaming. I absolutely love it. I have over 75, 80 hours into the game, and I'm enjoying it. Let's see. can be fun for you and friends. I get it, but if you're getting random players, it cuts down the silliness. Right, dude. That's what I was saying. Right? If I'm getting killed, like me, you, Titan, or in a game together, and we're having fun, and we're trolling each other for fun, and you smash me or shoot me or kill me, it's fun. It's hysterical. But if I don't know the person and they keep killing me over and over and over, then you just get frustrated, right? Papa says something to look at here. It seems that Sony and Arrowhead underestimated the number of players on PC, hence why they have a server issue. Now, Sony doesn't understand that putting games on PC is money. Perhaps. I mean, there was another article I have on Twitter. They talk about how they're did I go to the wrong thing? For fuck's sake. I'm sorry, guys. My board is broken. I'm clicking the buttons. You can still hear me, but you couldn't see me. So I totally understand what you're saying, right? They even said that their capacity, right, is too much. So they're getting too many players. So here in this tweet here, they say they speak the technical terms. Our servers as well as partner services have a rate limiter and denies connections beyond the volume per minute, preventing the entire system from failing. We managed to increase the rate limit from 10,000 minute to 20,000 minute, and the total capacity concurrent players has increased from 250,000 total to 360,000 total. And this is, however, still not enough, as player count jumped from 360,000 after 5.5 minutes, right? So this is what's happening with a lot of games like this. They didn't think it was going to be that. Power was talking about the same thing, about they have to open up more servers, right? So the servers is what's costing them more money, right? So they don't have the money or the infrastructure right now, and they're trying to open up more servers and whatnot. So, correct. Let me see what else you're saying here. So shoot in that game with effects at Warbond. Pay to win when everyone wins. It's like someone said that Warframe is pay to win. It's paid for convenience, like Warframe, and some other people considering that pay to win. Yeah, I don't think it's pay to win, right? If you can earn it in game, then that's fine. Now, I understand people that don't have the time to put the stuff into a game, but you know what? Life's not fair. So you can have pay to win in PvE games. I don't care what anyone says. You can also call it something else, but it's pay to win. But how is that pay to win? If it's a PvE game, we're all on the same team. How can you have a pay to win? Friendly fireworks intended when people aren't griefing. Oh, for sure. It's great to be a part of it, but when you have griefers, it completely it feels shitty. No, this is for Helldivers, Dolphin. I could add a gas to the fire, but I'll refrain from doing it. I'm just asking, or I'm just saying, I don't think Sony is seeing that they also put the games day and date on PC. They would make a bunch of money. Azracross claims if you don't pay at all, the grind is insane. Now, see, I've seen other people say that the grind's not that bad. I haven't played it for myself, so I'm not too sure how much of a grind it is. Right? If it's $10 to get the armor that he has and the gun that he has, okay, and that saves you 5 hours, is it 10 hours? Is it what's the hours? How many hours you have to put in the game? And again, I'm asking any of you that have played, those of you that didn't pay the $10, how many hours you have to put in the game, okay, to earn the same thing that someone pays $10 for? I thought the article was for Suicide Squad. No, the article was for Helldivers. The grind's probably fine. Once you earn all the stuff, you do all the hardest missions, the game is basically finished. See, and here's the thing. I would rather, like, for instance, Suicide Squads I'm playing, right? You can unlock certain skins within the game by playing the game. So if you go around doing the Riddler things and completing all the chapters and all the stuff, you earn everything in the game. That's in the game as of right now. Now, somebody else could just go purchase a cosmetic if they want to because they don't care about the cosmetics there, and it is what it is. Now, I don't like that you can't earn cosmetics that are in the game. Like if you give me Harley Quinn's full outfit instead of getting the deluxe edition, and I can earn that in game by putting 5-10 hours in by doing something, then let me do that. Right? But if someone wants to purchase that, I have no problem with that either, as long as I can earn it. The grind is too grindy. Destin. Yeah, like the problem is, I'm okay with a game being grindy. I have a problem where you can't get, if you can get the same stuff that someone can pay $10 for in game, I have no problem with that. Kurt and Lono, I think it's Kirk, Kirk. And Lono are doing another podcast today. Yeah, I think it's Kirk, Kirk. Is it Kurt or Kirk? I thought it was Kirk. Weekly updates, but hasn't said anything to the public. But they did. They came out, Krebsy, and said it on Twitter, and they have their Discord actually has what they're talking about now. It was 6 days afterwards, but they did it. I'm okay with people. I'm okay with some pay to unlock, but I don't want to see the first few months of the game. Yeah, I would like to see what the battle pass and the more content they're bringing in. Same goes with Suicide Squad. Same thing goes with Suicide Squad. I want to see what the first month brings with the Joker, the new environment, the bosses, and the more endgame stuff. Now, see, here's the thing, right? You have a super duper IP here, and you have a IP that barely nobody knew about. Okay, I'm not saying that Helldivers is brand new. What I'm saying is a lot of people didn't know what Helldivers was or played the first one because they don't like the isometric type of games. Okay, and then all of a sudden now this is on everyone's radar, and they're less to judge on that game. One, because it's not a AAA game. Two, it's not a big IP, and they enjoy it because it is what it is. Suicide Squad, because it's DC, because it's not the Batman game. Everyone gets that magnifying glass out, wants to make sure everything is a problem. Hal says, I don't have a problem with people not liking Suicide Squads. I have a problem with people making 10 videos just trashing it over and over again. There was a nice little, what's it called? I won't name the person. If you know, you know. There was a content creator that made like 10 videos, more than 10 videos, I believe. And one of the developers came out, and he said he was friends. The streamer said he was friends with the guy, and the guy came out and was like, no, we're not. I was like, oh, damn. How about LA Noir on Rockstar Game on sale for $7? Great game. I like that LA Noir. Great game. That was ahead of its time. Like you can do Battlefield 2 years little and want to pay a small fee to catch up. Industry conditioning has been working on me. There you go, Robert. Water says, I love the hell out of Suicide Squads, but man, their multiplayer servers are trash right now. Only thing that could fix is drop the new content as planned. Here's my issue with Suicide Squads, Water. I'm trying to get my finite crisis level up to 100, and I'm trying to do that with the things. But my game, I can't. The last couple days, 3 days, 4 days, I cannot get in with multiplayer. So I'm trying to get in with other people that have higher tiers because I'm struggling right now by myself in the higher tiers. So it's a little frustrating. Every time I get in, it like crashes or we get disconnected. So it's a little frustrating. They got to fix it. I said this last week, in the beginning of the week. I said they have to fix their servers ASAP. I'm at 50. No, I'm 63. I'm 63. But I can't get in. I can't get into a Finite Crisis matchmaking. So right now it's pretty lackluster to play. Because I want to level up my Finite Crisis, but at the same time, I can't get in with a multiplayer match. You can't say that word on YouTube unless you say squad after. I mean, I've been saying Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League all the time. And if I said suicide, I still don't get knocked. Because it's in context. I haven't been hit once. Yeah, the netcode needs to be fixed. Everything works smoothly, single player. 0 crashes. But as soon as you go multiplayer, yeah, it gets destroyed. It gets destroyed. I got to 100 on my boomerang builds. Very good and all that stuff. My Deadshot snipes for 50k average hit using the Black Mass Sniper. Oh, nice. I think they have some really cool builds in Suicide Squad. I know a lot of people look at it. I watched a video with Asmongold. He's like, it's not exciting. But he doesn't play looter shooters. So, and I like Zach. I like his content. I like his what he talks about. Even when I don't agree with him, I still like him. I just think it's funny because he's really hard on Suicide Squad, but he doesn't ever play looter shooters. So I'm not going to take what he says with any kind of value. Yeah, I could do 20 mastery level like 23 by myself, but it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it for the time. That third round, man, I need other multiplayer guys to come in with me to take, because here's one thing I don't like. When you play by yourself, the brutes that come in, they constantly focus on you. They don't ever attack your other characters. Now, when you have other multiplayer people with you, they focus on others, so you get a little time to like recoup yourselves. When you're playing by yourself, they're all attacking you. I don't like that. They have to fix that. I think I'm 120 finite trying to get the master weapons for my build right now. I want to be on multiplayer so I can play with people. I can get my Finite Crisis up. Some from the from Xbox crowd is laughing at Helldivers server issues. Little do they know that Helldivers uses Microsoft Azure. Now that they have said, haha, Sony paying Microsoft, no shit, they've been paying for them for years. No news here. Yeah, exactly. I went up to mastery level 28 to 30 on hardcore the other day. I also went higher, but so I have a question. If I take and lower my world tier and then put the mastery level up, is that better? Or should I put you see what I'm saying? Should I lower the world tier to normal and then put the mastery level up? Or do I do hardcore on 5, because I'm on 5 right now, and then go like a step or 2 down? Helldivers will eventually come to Xbox. Can't say no to extra player-based money. I don't think it will. I think with the amount of people that are playing right now, I think they'll leave it where it is. Can't get master if you lower it. So what's the minimum? You have to go to the hardcore? You got to go world tier 5. Get the mastery levels. World tier only affects the map. I'll have to mess around with that and see. Yeah, because it's because right now, and look, I'm as a person that played Marvel's Avengers, I'm feeling a lot of similarities right now, the way Suicide Squad is and Marvel's Avengers. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of same issues right here. Okay, we're having problems connecting multiplayer, just like Marvel's Avengers. Okay, now obviously Suicide Squad has way more endgame than any other game that's come out in this genre of live service games. Right? People don't want to hear it, but Suicide Squad has more end game stuff, and now people are like, well, it's all repetitive. It's the same stuff. Has the exact same, has more content in their end game than any other live service game had when it came out there when they first launched. And then once Joker comes out next month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hopefully, maybe, then you get more end game stuff. I'm not excited though about fighting Green Lantern and Superman. I feel like it's going to be the exact same thing as the Flash fight that we got with Brainiac, which is not good, because once they bring back Green Lantern and Superman, and then season 2 comes out and brings back Batman or something, like what's going to happen? You know, how many times can we do the alternate boss fights? I got my own concerns what's happening with Suicide Squads, but I don't think Suicide Squad's going to go away. I don't think they're going to close shop. I think they have what they have. It's made, and if it stays on course, then we're done within 18, 20 months. But if season 1 comes out and people are like, oh, it's getting better, season 2 comes out, it's getting better, then we'll have more content down the road. But we shall see. Anthem lasted 1 year. It lasted 2. Anthem lasted 2 years. So did Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers almost lasted 3 years. Yeah, I don't like the reskin boss fight idea. You know, the final boss was a reskin. Come on, where's the originality? Yeah, I'm a little concerned, Rose, about the reskin boss fights that are going to be the exact same for Superman and for Green Lantern. Yeah, that would have been awesome, Krebsy, but this is the world we live in right now, right? Put it out there and see if it works. That's the biggest problem right now. Imagine making a cooperative multiplayer game and you. Now, interesting enough, I did a poll on my stream. Okay, let me bring up. I asked people, are they having issues? Right, and I'm a small channel. We have 416 votes, which is actually pretty good, because with my other polls that we've done, okay, just to show you, okay, we have 494 votes from 4 weeks ago on what people are going to pick and use, right? Then shortly after, we have 581 votes of people saying, what do they get in the game for? Single player, all the above, and whatnot, okay? So you can tell with the people that at least watch my channel, most of the people got it for the single-player story and also all the above. Live service, like 2% of the 581 votes picked that, and 8% got the looter-shooter. So they were just getting it for the game and all the stuff that was in the game, not just for what it is. Now, right now, I just posted this last night, 18 hours ago. We have 416 votes, and I asked, now that Suicide Squad is out, are you having server issues since the game has come out? And 71% said no. 71% said no, and 29% said yes, right? So very interesting to know that maybe Sarge is correct. Maybe the majority of the people do not have this issue. But it's kind of weird that the people that watch my stream live, we all have multiplayer issues and we can't connect. But yet 71% of the people that are watching my channel don't have the issue. So, interesting. So, all right. That's going to do it for us today. We gotta cut it short a little bit today because my parents are in town. I gotta get them. When I hang out with them, I gotta get them ready because they're gonna be traveling again today. So we'll be back tonight for some more gameplay. We'll probably play Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League tonight. Just trying to finish the list of tier 2, tier 3 type stuff to get gear for the characters. So if anybody wants to play tonight, we can try. If not, I'll be solo again playing tonight. Other than that, we have a podcast later this week on Wednesday night. Me and Ginger Prime. I'm going to interview Ginger Prime, get to know him a little bit, talk about his comedy career that he's doing and whatnot. GXG this week, Thursday night, we have the Kingard joining me instead of Sarge. Sarge is busy this week. And yeah, so take a look for the uploads. If you missed any part of this, you could watch this after the fact. And if you don't want to watch the entire video, if you watch this long, I appreciate you. But we're going to do breakout videos as well throughout the week of these videos. So I appreciate it very much. Let's see, Krebsy says, they're here for the story people. Is higher percentage than it would make sense for the no server issues to be higher. Story doesn't really deal with servers. Right. That's true. That's true, Krebsy. I was just wondering because a lot of people are not having server issues. Maybe they haven't even tried multiplayer. Maybe I should do another poll and see how many people are trying to play multiplayer. Good idea. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for more gameplay, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.